I think there is some value too. I mean, there's some value in the fact that they go off a lot. You don't have to really wait. The grade of player is typically worse, and there's no lobbies. You don't have to use Sharky Straight or anything like that. It did come out yesterday that, or 2 days ago, since recording this video, that the rake is going to go up in these, so it's going to be interesting to see the long-term sustainability and if they have any shelf life. You know, I definitely thought when hypers came out, whatever it was, 3-4 years ago, that those were gimmicky, and I didn't really think that they'd be around that long or be that popular, and I thought they would just kind of, people would play them for a while and then go back to playing turbos and reg speed, and that's obviously not been the case at all. That decision probably cost me a couple $100,000, but I think, you know, we as professional poker players, which I'm assuming most people that are watching this are, or they're trying to be, or just trying to be competitive playing poker, is that I think we should be more open-minded to formats where it's more enjoyable for recreational players. And, you know, having that kind of gambly, obviously can't call here even though that's very tempting, having a gambling element in addition to just the game itself is probably a good thing, you know. I mean, I think it'd be nice if recreational players just always wanted to grind hypers and turbos all day, heads up or whatever, but it's just not, you know, it's just not that likely. So I think with all the additional, you know, government regulations that are coming in, and it's getting harder to play in different places, that anything that, you know, attracts these players, you know, more recreational players, is probably a good thing, even though it might affect the games that we play in that exact moment. I decided to make a small raise here to get him to commit himself with like Jack 9 or 10-8 or something like that. I think there's like a lot of action killing cards, and while it's usually most advised to be when you're in position is just to keep all their bluffs in their range, I think on that like exact board, given my hand, it's like raising is probably okay too. And we could see from the calculations we did before that we can't really raise call with King 9 there unless we think like the guy is outrageously loose or something. I thought about bluff catching on the left here, but I mean, it's just like, what hand does he have that he's taking this with? I mean, I don't know, so I think it's probably better just to fold there. And we're going to do about 5 more minutes. I think this video is giving you a good crash course on what these are like if you haven't played them, and hopefully some insight if you have played them. And it'd be interesting to see moving forward like how PokerStars, if they add higher buy-ins, I think is like the biggest X factor. And then you know, how the rake situation will pan out. There's a lot of variables at this point. I could bet on the left, but I think with my backdoor draw, you know, there's a lot more turns I can call if they probe, so I decided to do it. And then I decided to value bet on the turn check back river. So if you guys are going to take away anything from this video, it's brush up on your math, your chip EV math, and you know, review your games. And if you're not familiar, if you know you come from a heads-up background, I think the only way you're really going to get used to playing three-handed is to play it. So, but I think it's pretty intuitive. If you're good at heads-up, you're going to be good at three-handed games too. I think I should probably shove that 8-4 on the right there. I think that's a little bit missed value. I think this is kind of an interesting spot on the left. You know, it's one of those spots that I think this is a good example of if you're comparing an ICM game on a bubble to this chip EV situation. Obviously, if this is ICM, you would never ever call here with the short stack and the big blind. But it makes it substantially closer when it's chip EV, winner take all. So in this exact situation, I think it's really close. I mean, I think he's probably doing this like a lot of pairs, and then also like I kind of thought maybe you do like ace jack, ace 10, ace 9, and then maybe very occasionally like king jack, king queen. So I thought like with that combo of hands that I put in his range, I think it's kind of a straightforward call. And we'll play a couple more games here and see what happens. I'm kind of thinking, like, if you played these full time, I mean, you could probably get in, I don't know, maybe, it depends on how many you can multi-table. You know, I would say that I probably wouldn't play more than 4 at a time. So that probably means you can get 20, 25 an hour, maybe 150 a day if you play a full day. So didn't really want to raise call with king 9 on the right, so I just decided to limp. And pretty straightforward call, I think, on the flop. And let's check back for some deception and then value bet the river. Make a small 3-bet on the left, trying to induce or a light call. And I'm trying to polarize my range on the right to something or nothing, so I think betting bigger is the right play there. I don't think that's going to... I think if he's going to call with his 6 or 8 or whatever. No matter what I bet. And we're going to let both these games finish up and then we'll call it a video. Decided double barrel on the left. I think he's got to fold most of his hands there. And that's a pretty bad card. I was definitely going to bet the river if like an offsuit 8 came off, but... One interesting thing I've seen, like you can see that's slightly grayed out in the background, it says deal making unavailable. And that, you know, this hasn't happened to me yet, but you know, you can what the payouts are is that, let me actually pull up stars here for a second, just because I can see, make sure I have the exact numbers right. So it says each spin and go has a random prize pool ranging from 2 to 1,200 times your buy. So obviously the 2 when you're playing 30s is going to be the 60. And then 1,200 times you're buying. So if you're playing, my math sucks, so I'm going to use a calculator. 1,200 times 30. So you could be potentially playing for $36,000. And with the deal making unavailable, it's like, obviously, even if you're playing against a recreational player and you're a good player, I mean, I think we could both agree that just taking the low variance chop there would probably be best, is that you can't do that. So I don't know, like, if they put that there to discourage that, to encourage more of a gambling environment or whatever, but unless you get in a game where you know somebody and you can agree to something off the table, then I think I like a float here or a small check raise. It's kind of tough. I wish he had more like 600 chips, but it's very clear. I'm just going to bet like any turn, any river. If I hit like a 10, maybe I would check there or something, but so we got about a minute left in the video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope it gave you a good primer on how to approach these games. It's certainly be interesting to see what happens in the future with them. Like I said, if they have any shelf life, and you know, if there's more interest in these and people got enough out of this video, I definitely want to make more. I think, you know, I've been playing heads up seems like forever now, so playing three-handed is kind of cool. And I, you know, think it's not as strategic because you're just kind of forced to play tighter in a lot of situations. So, but from the perspective that it's just different, I think it makes it interesting at least to have a little bit of variety in your game, in the games you play, anyway. And that'll do it. I believe he had another overpair and we did not catch up. So again, leave any comments and I'll always answer them. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks guys. Bye.